Diary of Margaret, widow of Blackmere, Entry 1, March 17th, 1912. They came with the mist. At first it was only the sound, the mournful crackling of hulls not meant for those waters, and the hiss of steam that smelt of burnt sulphur. Then the smoke. Not the comforting smoke of heart fires, but something blacker, clinging, crawling through our fields like it had intent. We awoke too late. Father Ambrose was the first to fall. I saw him on the chapel steps, his cassock burning, trying to raise the old iron cross against them. One of the raiders, a thing half man, half machine, crushed him beneath a boot withered with barnacles and brass. The children in the orphan house screamed like a flock of gulls. It did not help them. They moved with frightening purpose. Silent pistols, gas grenades, claws. Miss Ruther, my neighbor, opened her door to warn others. She died screaming with her lungs turned inside out from some gas the bastard loosed. I fled to the root cellar with Peter, my youngest. We stayed down there all day, praying. I don't think God heard. Entry 2, March 18th, 1912. We emerged at dusk. What remains of Blackmere is no longer a village, but a grave. The chapel is a broken rib cage. The schoolhouse, ash. They left no survivors in the east quarters. Some they took, we think. Others they were left in pieces. Poor Mrs. Cobbler's legs were found still twitching near the harbor wall. Her head was nailed to the bell post with a prayer book stuffed in her mouth. There are marks scorched into the soil, symbols I dare not draw, and salt, piles of it, stacked like cranes, but wrong, as if they were offerings. The only reason we are alive is because we hid. Cowards, some might say, but I would ask them, what good did bravery do Father Ambrose? Peter asks, where is Father? I cannot tell him that John was in the watchtower, and the tower is now a smear of blood and shattered glass. Entry 3, March 21st, 1912. The fortress came today. We heard it before we saw it, grinding iron, the great hiss of sanctified steam, the moving fortress of Britannia. It loomed like judgment over the sea, trailing smoke like the wrath of angels. Knights of St. George descended to the ruins, searching for signs of heretics. They were too late. One knight took Peter's hand, offered him a ration biscuit. He looked so young behind the lion-faced helm. I wanted to thank him, to beg him to stay, but the fortress does not linger, it moves on, always chasing the next wound upon this land. Before he left, though, the knight warned me, this was likely a small raid. The heretics will return. So tonight, we sleep in shifts. We have no army, no weapons, only pitchforks and ancient shotguns from a war before the war. We dig fire bricks and bless them. It is all we can do. Entry 4, March 26, 1912. 5 villagers vanished last night. No blood, no sounds. Their doors were open, beds unslept. Only salt ruins remained, this time arranged in a ring around the well. Something is in the water now, an only shimmer that smells of the sea and burnt iron. We dare not drink it. They took Miss Ironheart's baby, left a mirror in its place. No reflection shows in it. We buried it anyway. I do not know how long we can hold out. The fortress is a fading memory, its trail of tracks swallowed by the mud and ash. The heretics have not returned in force, but the sea is still wrong, calm, too calm. The gulls do not cry. The wind does not shift. It is as if the coast holds its breath, waiting. Peter asks if the angels will come to save us. I tell him they are busy elsewhere, that we must be our own salvation. We keep our candles lit and the salt lamp unbroken, but we all know Blackmere has already been claimed. Entry 5, May 16th, 1921. Peter leaves tomorrow. They say boys become men in war, but I've watched my son become a man in the long stillness between raids, hunting rats from the grain bins, stitching the broken beams of the cathedral. reading scripture aloud with the clear voice of his. He does not remember his father's face, nor the sound of the old sea before it turned to poison, but he remembers what was done in Blackmere. And he remembers the fortress. It returned once, not long after the failed raid of Dover. Towering above the chalk cliffs, its shadow cast over the scorched fields like a moving cathedral, Peter stood at the edge of the old cemetery, his hand on the marker we raised for John, and he whispered, "One day I'll walk its decks. Tomorrow he will." He was accepted by the Knights Militant of St. George, not as a full knight, not yet, but as a recruit to their squirehood. He will board the fortress at Whitmouth, where the eastern strut of the beast docks to drink in coal and food and fuel for war. He will be trained to serve guns, to climb the ridging, to scrub the blood from the inner sanctum holes if needed. It is not glory, but it is purpose. He asked for my blessing. I gave it within both hands, and when he turned away, I wept. He does not know how many nights I have dreamt of heretic shadows dragging him into the sea, nor how often I prayed to the same silent sky that never answered when John died. But the fortress is the only place where I feel like he will be washed over. The Lady Britannia, cold figurehead though she may be, has never fallen. Peter leaves me a letter in return. I do not go for revenge, mother. I go so no more mothers must bury empty cribs. I go so no village becomes ash and salt again. They say that the 3 lions roar where the fortress treads. May one of them roar for him. I shall keep the heart warm, should he return. And I shall watch the horizon, not for heretics, but for the thunderous crawl of Britannia. God keep you, my boy. God make you still.
Did I realize that I did not record the outro of this video at 2 a.m. on upload day? Yes. However, I thankfully remembered on time. And thank you for listening to the story of the widow at Blackmere. And I also want to know if you guys would like me to continue on to Peter's journey on the movie Fortress of Britannia. And I would also just like to say thank you for everybody who has subscribed and everybody who has commented. I do appreciate all the support. And if you like this video, don't forget to like. And if you like the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Otherwise, I will see you in the trenches.